Aries, what's going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it, Aries. Happy new week, happy day. I hope you're well. I hope things are moving well for you. We entered Gemini season last week officially. We haven't been in Gemini season too long, but we are starting off this week with a new moon in Gemini. We're seeing a lot of positive effects from moving into Gemini season. Not only is it bringing more momentum, even if there still is this call to be patient in the process. Essentially, it's like talking about how not everything is going to manifest tomorrow, right? But keep pushing forward, keep focused, keep your eye on the prize, so to speak. And this new moon is actually giving us courage, confidence to do so. We're able to step in our power in a new way, and it's really helping us communicate, not only communicate, but it's like connecting with people that understand. And for the people that don't, we're able to assert ourselves. We're able to communicate from this space of empowerment, which is definitely needed. It's been pretty intense the past couple months, heightened water, fire element in the astrology, meaning that there's been a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of tension, anger, frustration, aggression, people not necessarily being able to like manage themselves, especially when things are popping up that we're not liking how it's going. So that's why I like to start off with these energy cleansings, set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, obstacles, limitations we might be coming into. It's a really good time to set your own intention for the reading as well, Aries, especially if you have something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, etc. Or if you are just looking for more of a rebalancing of self, alignment, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. So when we are aligned, when we're grounded in self, when we know who we are and what we want, that's really where we're manifesting our happiness, our fulfillment from, right? That law of attraction. Like attracts like. And so we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to enjoy this life we live. I would love to help support that in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, Aries, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama love, Mama. All right. So you feel a little overwhelmed this week. That's the energy I'm picking up from you. Like you have a lot on your plate. Not in a bad way. I mean, like you're a pretty strong sign, Aries. I feel like you do a really good job at handling a lot. At the same time, I feel like it is starting to highlight maybe some of the places that you're taking on too much, right? Like I'm hearing like, not in a negative way. Don't hate me for saying this, or you can. It's okay. This value of needing to know your physical capacity. How there's what we want to do, what we want to achieve versus what we actually can. And this is not about like death to a dream. Don't pursue something because you're not capable. It's not about that. It's more about like the stuff, the responsibilities that you take on day in and day out. Yeah. Starting to say no. That's hard, right? I don't know. I mean, I guess some people can do it, some people can't, right? But if you are naturally a lover, a giver, someone that's supporting, someone that's kind of being, that cornerstone, etc., taking on a lot of responsibility, sometimes we do need to learn how to say no. Sometimes we do need to learn how to put distance in between someone or a situation that has too high of expectations for us. I feel like in a certain way, you're kind of getting that this week, which I feel is good. Like it looks like you've kind of been following this order of things, doing what you should be doing what you're supposed to be doing, which, is relative, but you've been doing it. Good for you, Aries. And now you're in this space where it's kind of like, I don't know, like you're giving yourself a little bit of freedom. You're giving yourself a little bit of freedom. You're starting to tamper around with other ideas, or I'm also hearing for some of you, it's like as an energy is leaving or not as present, whatever you've needed to create distance from for yourself, this is like for your own sanity, right? This is like when we get so overwhelmed that we have to say no, like that's really the only option. And I think even if it's not super comfortable for you, I'm getting this energy of you really like, okay, I know that I need to be doing this. I know I need to like practice this, right? And it's working out in your favor. I feel like it looks like you might be calling someone out this week with the communication and your blocked energy. I'm not sure that it's like an easy conversation. Well, obviously, if you're calling them out, that's never an easy conversation to have. It's putting a level of awareness on things. Like it looks like you're not taking a break this week, but maybe even taking a break from a person, from an energy. Needing a little bit more distance or continuing to need that. And makes sense, right? They're coming in as the star energy, which I like. It shows that they're actively trying to heal. They're actually trying to grow, evolve, etc. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to come in with open arms. Like I'm hearing like you're still having your boundaries around things 100%, especially with this Two of Pentacles. You're juggling a lot, right? So I'm hearing this as like you're only giving someone time and space for the things that need to be talked about, need to be addressed. And if the communication isn't going well, which it does kind of look like it's a little bit dicey this week, you're not feeling bad about it. You're not feeling responsible for it. You're not picking it up. And whatever you're dealing with is managing themselves, right? Like, I don't know if you're kind of calling someone to be a little bit more grounded, or like you're trying to just maybe convince someone of something, but this is something that you can't convince them of with your words. You have to show them. And I feel like you've kind of given up on showing them because it's been the same thing over and over and over again. And now you're in a place where it's like, okay, you can put these lessons into practice, so to speak. Again, not that you necessarily owe this person's situation anything. I don't think that you do. It looks like you're putting your best foot forward, but someone's not so convinced. Someone's not so convinced and they're worried. This is unnecessary worry, unnecessary fear. A lot of overwhelm, like I said. Maybe you're just like, they're kind of communicating how stressed out they are, like whatever. They have a lot going on too. And as we all do, right? And that's why it is so, important for us to the best of our ability to try to work together harmoniously. And when we don't, then it becomes stressful, then it becomes burdensome, etc. But it does look like this week you're dotting your I's, you're crossing your T's, you're not necessarily veering off the path, right? Like whatever you've kind of orchestrated with this person, whatever you've committed to, you're showing up. You're showing up in the way that you said you would. And that's, I like, to me, it's like, you're like, that's what I can give you. Other than that, like, I'm not going to go down this road of anger, fighting, disagreements over things that are not even true or that's how you perceive it, right? Like, I'm putting my best foot forward, I'm doing the best that I can, etc., etc. This person might be a little bit paranoid. So what I'm seeing with this high priestess, they're having a really hard time believing you. They're having a hard time believing you. And I guess kind of what I'm seeing, Aries, for you this week is it's like no answer is the right answer. And so you're stuck in this space where it's like no matter what you do, you still can't find reprieve, a breath of fresh air. They won't let up. You know, and I don't necessarily see this person as like constantly on top of you this week, but I see it's more like suspicion, right? It's someone who's saying, who's being analytical in their approach, right? Like kind of just weighing out the pros and the cons. But then at the same time, they have all this stuff going on in the back of their mind, the what ifs, the fear, the anxiety, etc. And they're looking at this situation either like you're keeping secrets from them or you're not fully telling them, or I don't know. It just, like I'm saying, it feels like you can't win on some level. And maybe you know this. You're moving into this space of self-protection because you don't necessarily want it to get worse than what it is. But then there's also this value of like, it's taking a really long time. I mean, I feel like with whatever you're dealing with, it's going to take a long time for them to grow out of this, is what I'm seeing. And so that's why at the end of the week, or like as you're moving forward, you're willing to take more chances. Because again, it seems like what's being highlighted is places that you're not appreciated, or you're not understood, or you're not heard. And that's kind of where you're at this point of just like, okay, well, if that's the reality of it, then, you know, maybe I'm still doing the things that I told you I was going to do, but I'm also going to move into this energy of protecting myself, right? And you're willing to risk a little bit more is what I'm seeing as things move on. Yeah, because like at the end of the day, you are King of Wands energy, your Aries energy. You have a lot of power, a lot of control. What we're seeing with this new moon in Gemini is it's giving us that even more so, right? It's giving us that the power to communicate, articulate our wants, our needs. And if people are not on board, well, it almost looks like you're not really budging for that. And I think it's a good thing in this dynamic because, again, someone's moving a little bit slower than what's ideal. Maybe they kind of look like they have their shit together, or things, you know, they're kind of approaching it in, like I said, this really rational way, but that's not really true underneath the surface. And you kind of know that. You kind of know that, right? But there's this part of you, again, I feel like you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe not as much as what you have in the past. I think some of that's slowing down because you don't have any more energy to give, you know? It feels like a lot of what you've given them has taken from you. Not that you're unwilling to give it, you did so freely, but you're also seeing now like the demand, right? Be willing to express love. When we express love, we begin to receive more love. So this has also been popping up, especially around relationships dynamics that we want to see through, right? People that we want to make sure that we're growing and evolving with, etc. Like sometimes we just need to be honest. Sometimes we have to have that vulnerable conversation. Sometimes we have to say like, hey, I really appreciate that you did X, Y, and Z, but can we talk about this? You know, that value of like not undermining yourself, your wants, your needs for someone else's. Listen with your heart. You are listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with a loving heart. Being a little bit more empathetic, which is kind of hard for Aries energy. No shade to you guys at all. You're just all about business, right? Like, you know, being in control, being on top, having your shit together, etc., which is amazing. But sometimes when situations have not caught up with us yet, then we need to be a little bit kinder. We need to be more empathetic and patient with what's actually happening. Get to know each other. Learning to meet another's needs for love is important for a relationship to grow, right? Sometimes we get so caught up in the nitty-gritty, the to-dos, you do this, I do that, blah, blah, blah. blah. You know, that we forget to actually like be present and invest in the people that we're, you know, doing life with, right? The people that we have these relationships that are important and valuable to us. You know, Spirit's really asking you to open up to that. Maybe if this is romantic, maybe it's doing a date night, maybe it's hanging out with a friend, maybe it is being a little bit more vulnerable within your conversation, sharing your heart, where you're at, what you're feeling, why you feel overwhelmed or like you need to say no. I think it's actually going to get you pretty far this week, Aries. It's going to help with communication, and it's going to kind of diffuse some of the, I don't know, negativity or like hostility that might come from you rolling the dice a little bit. We want to get this other person on board. They might not be ready this week, but it's all about the finesse, right? How you treat it, how you approach it, what you say, how you say it, etc. The art of communication. So I hope this helped, Aries. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I super appreciate you, all you bring to the channel. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I would love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. Now I'm sending it back your way.